I was asked about my strength standards, like what numbers people need to hit for me to consider them strong. I was asked this a long time ago, like 2 months ago on a YouTube video. So I said I was gonna make a video on it, so here it is. And I'm definitely not one of those people that's gonna give the response to this question like, don't compare yourself to other people. It doesn't really matter what your numbers are as long as you're improving yourself. Standards, comparisons, hierarchies, all of these things exist, and it's good that they exist. They incentivize improvement. And I do think that there are numbers that are realistic for pretty much everybody who just commits themselves to hard training for a few years. Obviously, I'm speaking to my demographic here, which is 97% males and 88% people between the ages of 18 and 44. This entire video is all conjecture, but I'm gonna give my standards for what I would consider someone to be strong, the numbers that they need to hit. Don't comment on here that some people have different levers and different anatomy. I know, I'm just speaking in generalities. So first exercise, the deadlift. I think most men who are at a healthy body weight of like 200 pounds should be able to pull 405 off the floor. I think that should be like the bare minimum for most men who are participating in gym culture. The deadlift is the exercise that progresses the quickest and the longest of all of the lifts. Any man who's never trained before can likely pull 225 to 275 off the floor the first time they ever deadlift. If you can't currently pull 405, that's absolutely a reasonable number to shoot for. You likely can get there by just running a very simple linear progression. Honestly, if you just do that, you'll likely be pulling 405 before you need to do any sort of switch up with your programming needs. You can probably just keep adding weight to the bar like the starting strength weight until you get there. Even if you're someone who's like really small or really skinny, like 170 pounds, I still think 405 is a really achievable goal. This is a video of a former coworker of mine pulling 405 for a double at 160 pounds body weight. My channel being dedicated mostly to lifting weights, I would encourage people who are that small to consider gaining weight. And even if you're short, like 5'7", 5'8", 190 pounds shouldn't be that hard of a body weight to achieve if you just train hard. And weighing 190 at 5'8", that's a pretty good looking body. Okay, moving on to the back squat, I think upper 300s, like 365 plus, is a very reasonable standard to have for most men. And I don't even think it's unreasonable for most people to try to shoot for 405. If you weigh 200 pounds, 405 back squat is just 2 times body weight. I'm currently weighing 227 and just hit 573 on back squat a few days ago, which is 2.5 times body weight. And that number takes years and years and even decades to achieve. And remember, if you're on the lighter side of the spectrum, a 2 times body weight is much easier than if you're on the heavier side of the spectrum. My last exercise is bench press. I think 225 should be the absolute bare minimum. 2 plates on each side of the bar is like the greatest milestone for anyone who commits themselves to training hard. Any healthy male who's been training hard for 6 to 9 months should probably be benching 225 for 5. And 225 for 5 equates to a 1 rep max of 250, which is really what I think anyone who trains hard consistently should be able to eventually achieve. So I think those are my standards for what I would consider someone to be strong to hit. If I were to see somebody hitting these numbers, I would at least know that they've put the time and effort into training into physical development. If you can't hit these numbers, don't worry about it. It just means you have a lot of room to grow. And that growth can be achieved with just basic hard training, and that's a good thing. Those are my standards. Maybe someone could convince me of different numbers. But that's all I have for the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.